could see myself in a pit trying to get out, just feeling so heavy that when I would make one step, the weight would just pull me back down.
Oh, but just ask them. I'm here talking about Mia Copa.
Okay,
I'm February 23rd, and that's what I'm most excited about right now. I think that's that. And that's, yeah, and I'm...
Michelle Williams just blew the whole Destiny's Child saga wide open. And this time, it's Kelly Rowland who's at the center of the storm. She's spilling tea that fans have whispered about for years. Jealousy, sabotage, and some real shady moves behind the scenes. Everyone's clocked the awkward vibes between Kelly and Beyonce before, but Michelle just lit the match that's got the whole internet buzzing. She straight up hinted that Kelly's jealousy might go way deeper than anyone realized. And she didn't stop there. Michelle dropped a bombshell, saying Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's own father, might have been stirring the pot from day one. Now people are asking, was Kelly just bitter? Or did Matthew purposely pit the girls against each other? Because the way Michelle laid it out, it's giving calculated drama. This beef ain't exactly brand new. Fans been side-eyeing the tension for years. But Michelle's comments finally made the puzzle pieces snap together. According to her, Kelly's been trying to break out of Beyonce's shadow forever, but something or someone always kept her boxed in. And here's where it gets even crazier. Michelle made it sound like this wasn't just about fame or talent. Folks out here whispering that Matthew was low-key, pulling the strings all along. Fans been whispering for years that Matthew Knowles might have been sabotaging Kelly Rowland's shine, making sure Beyonce stayed front and center while Kelly got dimmed in the background. And now, Michelle just low-key confirmed those whispers might have been way more than just rumors. But here's what's got people really talking. Why is Michelle choosing to spill all this now? Destiny's Child split almost 2 decades ago, and Michelle's always stayed quiet on the jealousy talk. Until right when Kelly's stepping back into the spotlight, and yo, the timing is too suspicious. Kelly just announced she's hitting the road with Brandy and Monica. 2 R&B legends fans have been begging to see live together. Sounds iconic, right? But plot twist. Kelly ain't headlining, she's the opener. Yeah, let that sink in. A whole Destiny's Child legend, now opening for artists she's easily on par with, if not beyond. And it doesn't stop there. Kelly's also sharing the opener slot with Mooney Long and Jamal Roberts. Both rising stars, sure, but they're not in Kelly's league. So now the internet's torn. Some folks are hyped for the tour, while others are wondering if this move is a downgrade. And Michelle's shady little confession, it just added fuel to a fire that was already sparking. But wait, it gets even messier. Word on the street says Kelly's been refusing to show up on stage with Beyonce. Bey's currently on tour, and according to Michelle, she personally reached out and invited Kelly to join her for a few shows, especially the huge ones, like in Paris. But guess what? Word is, Kelly straight up shut Beyonce down. According to Michelle, Kelly's reason for saying no wasn't scheduling, it was insecurity.
What do you think about your friend Beyonce? She's like your sister. You guys literally grew up together. She's stepping into country.
So proud of her.
I know, but were you surprised, and what do you think about it?
I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Michelle's claiming Kelly didn't want to deal with the internet dragging her all over again for not being on Beyonce's level. The comparisons, the shade, the constant noise about who's the better performer. Kelly wasn't trying to live through that mess again. Michelle's making it sound like Kelly couldn't take the spotlight stress, especially with folks always pointing out how Bey sells out stadiums while Kelly's still grinding. And with Michelle spilling this now, the tension is given real heavy behind-the-scenes drama. But let's be real for a sec. This ain't exactly shocking. If you've been paying attention, Kelly feeling some type of way about Beyonce has been the quiet talk for years, and she's even admitted it herself before. Way back, Kelly got real vulnerable and shared how those constant Beyonce comparisons messed with her head, especially after Destiny's Child broke up. She talked about watching Beyonce's solo career explode while she struggled to find her own space in the industry. Michelle's recent bombshell just added more heat to something that's already been simmering for a long time. And honestly, Kelly already told us how she felt. Just go listen to her song, Dirty Laundry. In that track, she didn't hold back. While my sister was on stage, killing it like a moo-effer, I was enraged, feeling it like a moo-effer, buried in shame. You would never know what I was dealing with. We went our separate ways, but I was happy she was killing it. Bittersweet, she was up, I was down, no lie. I felt good for her, but what do I do now? And she didn't stop there. Kelly even said she was going through it after Survivor while Bey was blowing up. Her debut album, Dangerously in Love, dropped while Destiny's Child was still technically a group, and it dominated. Over 300,000 copies sold in the first week. #1 on Billboard, Grammy wins. The whole empire started instantly. So while Beyonce was out here smashing records, Kelly's solo debut, Simply Deep, dropped a year earlier. And sure, it did okay with 77,000 copies in the first week, peaking at #12 on the charts. Respectable for a solo launch, no doubt. But the second Beyonce's album dropped, the comparisons went wild.
This just dropped a whole new couple of songs, and it's my understanding that Renaissance 2 may or may not be country-based. And then there's a rumor going around that Renaissance 3 may be either rock-based or a DC reunion.
That is her business to talk about. But just ask them. I'm here talking about Mia Copa. I'll February 23rd, and that's what I'm most excited about right now. I think that's that. And then, yeah, and I'm...
And we all saw how that played out. Now, after Michelle exposed Kelly's jealousy, fans started connecting the dots. And suddenly, some of Kelly's recent moves started looking real shady. Remember that Today Show drama? At first, headlines went nuts, claiming Kelly threw a full-blown diva fit and stormed out because her dressing room was too small. Page 6 ran with it, saying she bailed last minute because the space wasn't up to her standards. But here's where things take a turn. Insiders, who were actually backstage, say the dressing room excuse, total cover-up. The real reason Kelly dipped was way deeper. Sources say Kelly walked out because producers kept forcing Beyonce into the convo, hijacking her whole moment. Kelly had one rule going in: keep the focus on her. She was there to promote her new Tyler Perry movie, not play Beyonce's background again, and definitely not on live TV. But instead of respecting that boundary, they kept pressing her about Beyonce's latest projects, her music, her impact, everything except Kelly. And let's be honest, this ain't the first time she's been pushed aside in her own spotlight. Every time Kelly tries to have her own moment, the media just can't help but drag it back to Beyonce. So when Michelle aired her out for still being salty over the constant comparisons, fans started locking in, fast. That Today Show walkout, it wasn't about no tiny dressing room. It was about years of being overshadowed and Kelly finally reaching her breaking point. And the way she dipped, no yelling, no drama, just straight ghosted. Left the producers scrambling for a last-minute replacement while the cameras kept rolling. That's when people really started asking, is Kelly still carrying resentment? Or was the Today Show flat out disrespectful for flipping the script on her like that? But let's not act brand new. This ain't the only time Kelly snapped over Beyonce name drops. She's been clocking out of these interviews for a minute now. Folks been watching her go from smiles to side eyes real quick when someone brings up Beyonce like she's the main character every time. One time, Kelly didn't even bite her tongue. She straight up called out the interviewer, told him to cut the BS, and made it crystal clear. She wasn't there to play second fiddle. She wasn't there to ride Beyonce's wave. She was there to talk her talk. And honestly, can you even blame Kelly? Every time she sits down for an interview, it somehow turns into the Beyonce show. Like her entire career don't even exist. They brush past her music, her movies, her grind, and go straight into the same tired Beyonce questions. It's like they don't care about Kelly, just the connection. But let's get into the real mess, because Michelle didn't stop at just calling out the jealousy. Nope, she allegedly went even deeper, and what she said has fans shook. Turns out Kelly's been holding on to some serious resentment for years, and it all points back to Matthew Knowles. Y'all already heard the whispers that Matthew was playing favorites, but Michelle made it sound way more calculated than anyone expected. According to her, Matthew allegedly set Beyonce up to be the star from day one, even if it meant tearing Destiny's Child apart from the inside. And now, the timeline's starting to add up. Let's break it down, because the real tea about Destiny's Child is starting to spill all over the place. Word on the street says Matthew Knowles allegedly sabotaged the group on purpose to give Beyonce the perfect launch pad. And when you look back at how things unfolded, the signs were always there. Destiny's Child was that girl group, hit after hit, sold out tours, award show dominance. The girls were on top of the world, but behind the scenes, pure chaos. Members kept switching out, lawsuits flying, shady contracts, and quiet drama that never fully made it to the headlines. Yet, through all of it, Beyonce stayed front and center every time. No matter who came or went, she was the one being pushed. And now fans are looking sideways at Matthew Knowles, saying he was pulling strings the whole time, making sure his daughter rose to the top. Now, y'all remember that wild moment when Latavia and Latoya got kicked out of Destiny's Child and didn't even know about it? They literally found out when the Say My Name video dropped. Like, Say my name, wait, where's Latavia and Latoya? Imagine being replaced and only finding out through a music video. That's cold. And guess who was calling those shots? Matthew Knowles, the same man managing the group and being Beyonce's dad. So naturally, people started asking, was he managing the group fairly? Or was he just protecting Beyonce's rise to the top? Over time, the group shrank from 4 to 3, and the energy started shifting real quick. What used to be about a tight-knit girl group turned into one name leading the charge, Beyonce. Slowly but surely, the focus moved away from Destiny's Child as a whole and straight onto her, while the other girls got pushed into the shadows. And let's get one thing very clear. Nobody's saying Beyonce isn't talented. She's that girl. Renaissance was a masterpiece, and her star power is undeniable. She earned her spot, no question. But fans can't help but look sideways at how Matthew allegedly positioned her so perfectly, to the point where people are wondering if Destiny's Child ever had a real shot at staying together, or if the plan was always to build Beyonce's solo empire from the jump. Even Michelle hinted that favoritism was real, and certain members got sidelined more than once. And as for Kelly, we've already unpacked the jealousy talk. But now, with everything Michelle's exposing, it's starting to feel less like jealousy and more like years of pent-up frustration from always being left in someone else's spotlight. At this point, fans are fully convinced Matthew Knowles was the puppet master behind Destiny's Child, clearing the runway for Beyonce's solo takeover, even if it meant wrecking the very group that made her a star in the first place. And honestly, it kind of makes sense why Kelly wouldn't want to keep putting herself in a position to be compared again and again to someone she used to share the stage with. Now with Michelle finally spilling all this tea, old rumors are crawling back out. So the real question is, has Kelly really been holding in this resentment all these years? Or is the internet doing what it does best? Taking a moment and turning it into a whole scandal. And let's not forget, if what Michelle's saying is even halfway true, then Matthew might have done more than just manage the group. He might have manipulated it to push his daughter to the top. So, was it ambition or was it sabotage? One thing's for sure, this story ain't even close to being over. The next piece, even wilder than this one. Sound off in the comments. Do you think Kelly's holding in resentment, or is she just tired of the noise? Like, share, and subscribe if you want more deep dives like this.